Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to demystify the often dreaded Chicago style. Our goal here is to turn that citation confusion into total confidence, and we're going to do it in just a few minutes.
All right. So if you've ever found yourself staring at a new paper, thinking this exact thing, you are definitely in the right place. So what is the deal with having both? Let's dive in and break it down.
You know, at its heart, Chicago style is really just a simple two-part system. On one hand, you've got the footnote. That's that little number in your text that points to a note right at the bottom of the page. And on the other hand, you have the bibliography, the full, detailed list of every single source at the very end. They're a team. They work together to keep your writing clean and your sources super clear.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down those two citation types. Then we'll break down the four core parts of any citation. We'll tackle the kind of tricky rules for multiple authors, practice on some common sources, and then wrap it all up with a simple toolkit you can use for any paper you write.
Right, so let's just take a second to really lock in the difference between these two citation types and, more importantly, why you actually need both of them.
And this right here, this is probably the most important rule to remember. It is not an either-or situation. Every single source you cite needs both. Think of it like this. The footnote is a quick signpost for your reader, right there on the page. But the bibliography, that's the full set of GPS coordinates for them to find that source themselves. You absolutely need both.
Okay, now for the part that's going to make everything else just click. It seriously doesn't matter if you're citing a book, a website, an ancient scroll, whatever. Every single Chicago citation is built from the exact same four basic pieces of information.
These four things are your universal building blocks. Who made it? When did they make it? What is it actually called? And where can I go to find it? Once you get the hang of spotting these four pieces of info for any source, trust me, you've already won half the battle. All right, let's talk about the one part that sometimes trips people up, how you format the creator's name. The rules change just a little bit depending on how many people are involved, so let's solve this people puzzle.
This chart lays it all out beautifully. So for just one creator, notice the little switcheroo. It's first name, last name in the footnote, but it flips to last name, first name in the bibliography. For 2 or 3 authors, see how only the first author's name gets flipped in the bibliography? And here's a great little time saver. For 4 to 10 authors, the footnote uses that handy et al., which just means and others. But your bibliography still needs the full list. Okay, so we have our building blocks, creator, date, title, source, and we've got our rules for the creators. Now let's get our hands dirty and actually put it all together by building citations for the stuff you're going to use most often.
We'll kick things off with a classic, a book with 1 or maybe 2 authors. This is really the foundation. Once you see the pattern here, I promise everything else is going to fall right into place.
Okay, don't even try to read all that tiny text. Seriously, just focus on the pattern. See the footnote on the left? See how all its main parts are separated by commas? Now look at the bibliography entry on the right. Its main chunks are separated by periods. That's it. That's the secret sauce. Commas for footnotes, periods for bibliographies.
All right, next up, a scholarly journal article. You're about to see that the exact same pattern applies, just with a couple of tiny little tweaks for this type of source.
And there it is again, that same pattern. The footnote on the left is using commas, and it points to one specific page. The bibliography on the right uses periods, and it gives the article's entire page range. The only other key detail to spot here is that the article title is in quotation marks, while the journal's title is in italics.
And for our last example, let's apply this system to a basic website, something we all use constantly. The goal is exactly the same. Give your reader a super clear path to find exactly what you found online.
And for the last time, look at that. The pattern holds strong. Footnote on the left? Yep, commas. Bibliography on the right? You got it, periods. The only really new piece of info here is the URL and that access state, which is super important because, websites can change or disappear.
Whew, okay, that was a lot of detail all at once. So let's zoom back out and do a quick review of the simple framework we just built. Think of this as your go-to mental checklist.
So here it is, your Chicago-style cheat sheet. Number 1, every source needs 2 types of citations, the footnote and the bibliography entry. Number 2, every citation is built from the same 4 core parts. And number 3, the big one, remember the punctuation pattern. Commas for footnotes, periods for bibliographies. If you can just remember those 3 things, you've pretty much got this whole system down.
And that's really what all this is about. Getting good at the mechanics of citation, it's not the end goal itself. It's the thing that frees you up to confidently and ethically join that big academic conversation. It gets all the technical stuff out of the way so you can focus on what really matters, sharing your own ideas with the world.